Hello, we're talking all things balance today. If you don't know who I am, my name's Ethan Williams. Currently a semi-professional footballer for the Sandringham Dragons, as well as a dispatcher, I make concrete cutting products just through the family business. Currently right now, I have been into social media for maybe I think it's about 8 months now. 8 months? Yeah, maybe 6 months. 6 months properly, and I'm loving it. Love every bit of it. And the whole goal in mind is to talk about the chaos in your own mind, but also how fitness is the base of self-development, and that's the most important part, isn't it? So, in today's video, we're all talking about balance, right? And I wanted to talk about growing up, first of all, for me, how balance was my biggest downfall. 100% it was my biggest downfall. I struggled always having my toes dipped in too many things, right? I never did it, right? I was always one thing only. And for me growing up, that was always football. I refused to have a plan B. I refused to, put time and energy into something else, because if I put time and energy into something else, football wouldn't work out because my whole energy isn't on it. That was the mindset I was in. And you know what? Like, I still kind of stand by that in a way, but now I've found balance in the best way possible, which is the most important part. And how did I do that? I thought to myself, what do I have to do to be able to step away from footy and not be present on footy right now, away from footy, so then when I play footy, I enjoy it even more. Because that's the whole point, right? I used to say to this all the time. I say, I don't want to talk about footy. I don't want to watch footy. I don't want to have to think about footy away from footy, because it almost takes the love of the game out of the way, right? Because I play footy out because of that 6, 7, 8-year-old, 9, 6, 7, 8 or 9-year-old kid that just relentlessly loved the fucking game and never batted an eye, never said I couldn't do something, because that was his dream. And he was like, I can genuinely make it to AFL, so he's going to give it a red hot crack. And he did, and he still is, right? Which is great. So the way I found balance in the end was being able to... I used golf initially because I moved into state in Sydney, and I used golf. I played golf 2 or 3 times a week because I wasn't working full time, and I was living in a beautiful part of the world, and there were some great golf courses, and I utilised it. I played golf and I loved it because I would either go out by myself for 4 hours and not have to talk to anyone and just hit a golf ball around, a little white ball around a paddock of grass, or I'd book in the last tee slot in a group of 4. And that means every time I just find new people. And a lot of the time they're older blokes. And I loved it because I'd just make new connections, right? That was the best part. That was the initial start of me finding balance. And then when I moved back home, it was spending time with my mates. It was being able to step away and not talk about football with my mates, because that was the best part about it. I play football with one of my best mates, as well as the fact that all of my other mates, we just don't talk about football, which I really, really like, right? Because then that means when I get to football, I don't have that mental fatigue. I don't have that thought process of, I've been talking about football all day. This is just another 2 hours of football that we're going to go through. No, I look forward to it because I'm almost deprived of football. And it forces me to have my full time and energy and focus on that at that time, which is great. That's what I love. And it's a great balance for me. It's different for everyone else. But yeah, to be simple, that's what it is. What are we, 4 minutes in? This is my first ever video of kind of like talking freely. I've got some notes here. But yeah, talking freely to a camera. I'm normally good at my little 1-minute snippets, but I like this so far. And I think, okay, we're talking about the importance of balance when facing adversity, right? And I faced a bit of adversity in my life. I have not had a fucking tough life. I'm not here to pout. I'm not here to say, look at me, look at my heart, tough story. There are some ups and downs. There's some things that, you know, haven't gone my way and some bad things that have happened to my family and stuff like that. Like, I'm not here to pout about it because I don't want to make an excuse and say I'm not where I want to be because of this, right? It's not that at all. Okay, but how do you overcome adversity? When you have the right balance in place, you know that what you're doing is right for you, right? And sometimes it's just the play of the game that things won't fall in your favor. It just happens sometimes. And there's a lot of controllables you can't control, but there's also a lot of uncontrollables that you've just got to accept and cop on the chin. But the thing is, right, is that when you might not be doing enough, but you've got your balance right, it's refining the time that you have when you have time to focus on it. Like I said before, when it's the 2 hours or 3 hours at football training that I am fully focused because I'm deprived of football and all I want to do is talk about football, play football, all that sort of stuff, it's refining that. It's having more of an emphasis on training and how I'm going to go about my training, my pre-training craft, my in-training, my gym post-training, my talking to coach doing review. That's the most important part. Where I'm at right now, I'm not perfect right now, but I've got a fucking really good base and I'll accept that I've got a really good base. The balance I have right now represents my faults in life to the max. It does. And that's all because everything I've done, every fuck up, every good thing, every bad thing, every time I've set back, every adversity I've faced, any of that sort of stuff, it has refined down into who I am now. Right? And it's so great to be able to reflect and look at that. Everything I have done in life has shaped me into the person I am today. And that's purely because I had the balls to be able to say, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I need to work on this. Yeah, I did that really well. Because it's either people fucking hate the negatives, they hate confrontation, or they hate pumping themselves up. And most of the time it's confrontation. They don't want to hear the harsh truth. Okay, now, I put a poll on my story yesterday, and if you're watching this, I assume you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, it's the same username as my YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure. However, I asked, give me 3 questions about balance or experiences you have, and I'm going to pick the best 3. Actually, I said I'm going to pick the best 2, but I picked the best 3 because I got 3 fucking cracker questions. So, I'm going to give you an outcome and a solution. I'm just going to talk about it. And they're fucking cracker questions. I'm glad you guys interacted with them. From personal experience, what's a technique, habit, or mental state you use to be able to enjoy your life and then switch into grind mode without one hurting another? This is like the epitome of 16, 17, 18-year-old me. And it's like that for so many kids out there. They just burn out, right? Because that's the thing. When you're into grind mode or you're locked in or any of that sort of stuff, you burn out so fucking quick. I do like the saying the term of less is more because it is so prevalent in certain situations, and I will stand by that. I found that what I mean by less is more is me, like how I said with my balance with football before. It's literally me going, yeah, I don't want to put my time and energy into football right now because I'm away from football. It's not like my whole life has to be football, football, football. In the grand scheme of things it is, but it's not. So it's being able to have that escape and be able to say, look, I'm still locked in every way possible, but I need to reset. I need to do something besides football right now, and that might be playing golf, that might be hanging out with my mates, that might be like literally playing video games. It's an escape. It might be literally your part-time job. That's your escape. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is so important to have it. To answer the question, I do believe in the 90-10 rule, or 80-20 rule, very, very highly, and I take it into a lot of aspects of my life. Like, I will never be the one that will say all the time to go have beers with the boys, that will never want to go out, that will never, whenever it's all that sort of stuff, it's no, I'm not like that. some of the most quality time I have with my mates is when we sit around and have a beer. It's when the best conversations happen. It's where people open up. It's where we have the most laughs. And yes, there might be alcohol involved, but I don't see it as that big of a fucking deal. And here's the reason why. I wouldn't be fully present. I wouldn't be, what's the right word for it? I wouldn't be fully engaged if we weren't sitting all around a table at a mate's house, at the pub, at a bar, something like that, where we have to literally talk over the music and be louder than we normally would talking face to face, because it requires more attention. And that's you don't think about that. You never think about that. But if I'm having a conversation with my mate across the table and we're at a bar and it's fucking loud and the music's loud and there's hundreds of people talking around you, you automatically speak up. You've got to raise your voice, right? But it also forces you, when the other person is talking to you, to fucking listen. That is presence. You're not sitting there on your phone the whole time. You are talking to them, regardless if you're having a beer or not. I think that's very, very important. So yeah, to finish off the question, it is literally the 90-10 rule to a T, and you've just got to find your balance. You've got to have your times in your day where you can sit back and disconnect. So that could literally be, I'm going to doom scroll for an hour. I wouldn't recommend it, but that literally could be, I'm going to reset for a little bit. I'm going to doom scroll for an hour, right? That's where it's your certain avenue. I'm going to go for a walk for an hour. I'm going to get off my phone. I'm going to listen to a podcast. Any of that sort of stuff. That's very, very important. Because if you're just fully involved and in the mindset of, this is what I'm going to do and I can't bat an eye for anything else, what are you doing? One, you're not much fun, but two, you're actually going to go stagnant because you've got no balance. Anyways, question 2. That was a bit of a long answer. What has helped you most building confidence in your ability on the footy field? This has taken... I'm only 20, right? I'm only 20, but it has taken me years to fully get around, like properly. It has, because I've someone that struggled with self-doubt my whole life, and I have definitely not thought I could do it, right? I always thought I could make the AFL. I know I could take it to the next level, but literally sometimes it was the fact of the matter of you stepping onto that football field and it's just that flip of the mindset saying, no, I'm not going to play well today. And you hate it because you don't like doing it. You want to play well. You want to go out and have 30 disposals and kick a goal and all that sort of stuff. You want to. You can't tell me you don't. What made me have the most confidence in my ability is the experience I had. I've been through a lot. I've been to every corner of the AFL. It took me a long time to find confidence in my football. And the whole reason is because of self-doubt and it felt like the whole world was against me in some sort of way, but everyone feels that in their own respect. But the way I found confidence in myself is because I realized that I've got a lot of experience in the industry. I've done a lot. At 16, I get selected for Coates League. At 17, barely 17, halfway through the football season, I got called up to go play Sandy Dragons. Turns out that's the year that Will Ashcroft, Harry Sheasel, Cam McKenzie, all those boys were all there. A week later, I'm playing on Nick Watson in my first ever Coates League game. And then 2 months later, I'm playing Vic Metro. Another month after that, we're into finals, and I get dropped for the whole final series and don't play grand final after playing every game since. But I had to be optimistic. Because I was like, look how far you fucking come in 1 year. I was bummed that I didn't play in that grand final or any of the finals games, but at the same time, I went from playing senior football or local football to in 1 year playing on one of the best small forwards in the competition, to playing Coates League, to then playing Vic Metro as well and being a part of a premiership winning side. Like, That is amazing. But then following on from that, I then won a Coach League Grand Final the next year. Moved to Sydney. I played VFL for the Giants, and I lived the life of an AFL footballer because I did the full AFL schedule. That was my life. And it was fucking amazing. It was so good. But then midway through the year, I'm training with the AFL boys, and then I get dropped from the VFL team. And then it's like, where do you sit? Because you're still training with the AFL boys, but you're actually going to play local on the weekend. But then I found the best group of boys I've met in a long time. And they taught me that when we're away from footy, we don't need to talk about football. When we're away from footy, what's wrong with going and having a casual beer or sitting down having a drink on a Friday afternoon and knockoffs? Like, there's nothing wrong with that because it builds connection. That's what it does. It builds connection. And then after that, moved back home. All of a sudden, it felt like I'd moved back and I'd grown exponentially, but everyone around me was still the same. Like, it was a bit like that. And yes, I was only gone for a year. But you kind of expect things to be a bit different because you've grown a lot. But no, you realise your hometown never really changes. I then went into that pre-season when I moved home and I had more confidence. Like, already. And it was because I'd moved into state, I'd pushed myself, I'd got out of my comfort zone, and I learned from it, and I knew that I fucking know this game really well. I know the ins and outs of this game. And that was my confidence. I know that I am a good kicker of the football, and I know that I've got footy smarts because I fucking love football. That was the whole point. Yes, there's an element of I've put in the work here, I know I can play well. That is very, very important because if you haven't put in the work, it's going to be tough, right? But it's also the belief in your ability on why you're there, why you're playing VFL football, why you're playing in the ones team at senior football. You're there for a reason. You're not there just for the sake of it. You're there because the coach has put trust in you, the coach believes in you, and you've got to believe in yourself too. That is the most important part. And then you play with confidence, and then you go, fuck it, I'm better than everyone else in this field. That's the confidence you need. How do you cope with fluctuations of motivation when trying to keep a balanced life? It's pretty simple if you think about it. When you have good balance, it means you've got great discipline. Did you hear that? Great balance equals great discipline. And discipline is built through routine and balance, right? It is the commitment to yourself saying, this is the times that I've allocated for this. I have extra time for this. This is where I want to put my time and energy. And in the end, if you have the right routine, if you have the right commitments, and in the end, it means enough to you, you will fucking do it. We'll take this into footy training. If I'm feeling sluggish, if I feel like shit, if I feel like I don't want to do this, it doesn't mean I'm not going to go to football training. It doesn't mean I'm not going to football training. It means I have made a commitment to myself that I am going to rock up and I'm going to put my best foot forward. Because in the end, it is a commitment I've made to myself, and it's a commitment that I've made to 50 other people, that I will be there. So you suck it up and you do it. And the biggest thing the reason why people seek coaching or seek mentorship program is for that accountability, right? Accountability is the most important part. And in order to find balance, you've got to have it. And it's fucking so prevalent with discipline as well. But the biggest commitment people struggle with is commitment to yourself, right? It's like saying, I'm going to go clean my room when I get home. Or I'm going to make this video when I get home. So and so, right? It's always different. But you can brush it off so much easier because you know it's in your control and you know that you can do it realistically whenever you want. But right now is the best time to do it. Like there's one day in the week that I struggle most with training, and it's a Wednesday afternoon. And to be honest, it's the easiest session in the week, but it's the fact that I have to go to the gym by myself on my own accord to go do it. I box on Mondays, I train on Tuesdays, Wednesdays I have the hardest session of the week, but it's actually the easiest session because it's the hardest decision. I could brush it off so easily. Thursday I train, Fridays I have boxing, Saturdays I have games or either training. right? Sunday's my day off. It's the accountability to yourself and saying, hey, this is what I've got to do. So in the end, if you have proper balance, you have relentless discipline. That is the goal. It is a commitment that you've made to yourself. That discipline will force when you have that friction of saying, I don't want to do this. That's it. Pretty much, yeah. Anyways, I think that's all we've got in store. I literally said, I was like, oh, it's going to be a 7 to 10 minute video. No, I didn't realize I can yap this much. It's been 24 minutes. Yeah, this is fun. I like this. This is a good way to talk, good way for me to provide some value to you guys, but also hear what you have to say. Those questions were fucking unreal. I loved it. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. This is my first fucking video, and I think we've started off great. I'm a bit nasally because I'm a bit crook, got a bit of a cold at the moment, but I hope you all have a great day. Go kill it. Remember, fitness is the base of self-development, and in order to have great balance, you got to have great discipline. Have a good one. Catch you later.